The entire championship picture has completely changed over after Drew Webb came down the pit lane, coming to the white flag last week in New Hampshire. Now it's only a 7-point lead for the driver who has won 4 times this season. Well, he starts on the pole here today at the Pocono Raceway. Will he get back on his feet, or will the championship get even closer? It's the home state of Wawa here in Long Pine, Pennsylvania for the Herr's Forever Good 400 at the Pocono Raceway. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Pocono Raceway, race 24 of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. And my goodness, what a race we had last week at New Hampshire that just completely changed the entire complexion of this title race. But then Drew Webb goes out there, wins the pole by 0.3 of a second here at Pocono. He is mad about what happened last week, and he wants to continue to beat down this field here in the Wawa Cup Series. But this is a long race, 40 laps here around the tricky triangle. There's going to be a cycle of pit stops as well, just a little bit past halfway. You know how that worked out for Drew Webb last week. It's going to be interesting to see if he can, in fact, go to victory lane for the 3rd time during this chase and for the 5th time this season. We're going to completely break the owner's curse because I have a driver alongside me, or should I say a gentleman alongside me. I don't know, you're not really driving anything right now, but you will be owning in the Turkey Hill Truck Series if that comes up in about 6 weeks. Got Chase Harris alongside me for the call of today's event here from Pocono. And Chase, you saw what happened at New Hampshire to Drew Webb. How much of a chip on his shoulder does he have going into this race, and do you think that's going to play into his advantage?
Oh, he's definitely going to be driving mad, and we saw that because he won the pole. So he's definitely going to be aggressive. Well, you know, if he gets past, obviously he'll be aggressive. If he leads all 40 laps, he don't really have the need to be. But yeah, all in all, definitely a chip on his shoulder. But if he was able to rebound for a win today, I think that would definitely take a lot of the stress off from New Hampshire.
It's going to be interesting to see if that does, in fact, happen. Of course, he almost won that New Hampshire race and probably should have won the New Hampshire race, but just ran it too aggressively near the end and ran out of fuel. That's how close the fuel window was there. I don't think we're going to quite see that here today. We got a fuel window just a little bit past halfway, and I think a little bit more so than it was at New Hampshire. So they do have a bigger fuel cell here. This is a longer race mileage-wise, so hopefully that will not become a factor. But hey, in real life, we get a lot of fuel mileage races here. Who knows? We may see another one here today. Of course, in the championship standings, like I said, it really tightened up. But Drew Webb, winning those first 2 races of the chase have helped him tremendously. Still a 7-point lead, and he's got that on Travis Crampton. Now, here is the thing that's very fascinating. If there were no bonus points going into the chase, Travis Crampton would actually be the points leader right now because Crampton came into the chase with 0 bonus points. Drew Webb almost won the regular season title. He had, I think, about 15 or so, and you take those 15 bonus points away from Drew Webb, Travis Crampton would actually be the points leader, who is now 7 points behind. He starts 5th here today. Watch out for Crampton. They are definitely, I think, the 2nd best team right now. They've been very consistent during this entire chase, and Travis looking to get it done here today at Pocono. Ludovic Charette doesn't have a good starting position here today, but he's been doing an excellent job. He's 8 points behind, and our last winner, Braden Perez, who stole that win away from Drew Webb, is also 8 points behind. He starts in the 7th position. Then Matt Tuck, 14 points behind. He starts in 16th. Nicholas Samadillo is 20 points behind. You see him on the outside pole. Chase Buck with a great starting position in 6th. He is 25 points behind. Thomas Troxel, a lot of issues on this team. They start 12th. Troxel is 27 points behind. Aliera is 39 points behind. She starts 24th. LJ Semedo, 47 behind, starts in the 18th position. Seth Cole with a decent starting position in 8th. He is 51 behind. And Dylan Matthews, feel bad for her there. She starts 32nd, and she is 71 points behind. Definitely the worst of the chase drivers so far. They've just not been kicking it in the gear there at Hamill Racing Enterprises. But going to be interesting to see who gets it done here today, with Drew Webb starting on the pole. And alongside him there, Nicholas Samadillo in the number 59. Good starting position for him. Still looking for his first win of the season. He's got his teammate there in row number 2, Logan Williams alongside Echo Evans-Ross. And hey, we don't have Caleb Rose in the booth today, so maybe the Appalachia guys will actually have a good run in this race. You got Travis Crampton, Chase Buck there in row number 3. A couple of chasers and 2 more chasers behind him. And our last winner, Braden Perez and Seth Cole in the 82. Then Blaine Keys, who leads the points of the drivers who missed the chase, looking to get the best of the rest this season. He's 21 points ahead of Christian Master coming into this event and has been running very strong, looking to be the 13th place driver in the overall standings at the end of the year. Alongside Tanner Parton there in row number 5. There's Thomas Troxel in 12th, Matt Tuck is 16th, LJ Semedo in 18th, Aliera in 24th, Ladovic Charette in 28th, and then Dylan Matthews in the 32nd position. A lot of those guys who start deeper in the field for this race, starting on the outside lane, and that outside lane not necessarily the best place to be. But Chase, where is the best place to be? Who do you think is going to get the race victory here at Pocono? Will it be Drew Webb getting win number 5 on the season?
Well, inside lane's definitely the place to be, so Drew Webb's a really good pick. I'm looking at the 95 car, Logan Williams, man, you gotta watch him on the start, and if we get caught in the restarts, because as we've seen, runs are big at Pocono, and we also know that front stretch is really wide, so there's definitely going to be some crazy moves.
It's definitely going to be an interesting start to this race. Going to be an interesting race overall. 40 laps here, and each turn is different. Thomas Trox will explain to us on Wednesday. You have Trenton in turn number 1, Indianapolis in turn number 2, and then Milwaukee there in turn number 3. And each of those tracks completely different. Of course, Trenton does not exist in real life anymore, but you get the idea. A very unique racetrack, and it's in the home state of Wawa and the home state of Her's as well, which is why the Her's Forever Good 400 is underway here at the Pocono Raceway. We're Green Flag Racing in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Well, no surprise here to see Drew Webb lead lap number 1 here at the Pocono Raceway, but a good jump there for Logan Williams in the number 95. And he's right there on the back bumper of Drew Webb here, with Sam Medeo falling in there to the 3rd position, slotting in the 3rd, I should say, and then Crampton and Echo Evans-Ross the top 5, but the top 4 kind of pulling away right now as we're single filing out throughout a majority of the field.
Yeah, and this is classic Pocono, right? You're going to see, obviously, the restarts, but once you get about a lap in, it really starts to get down to single file, and that's when passing really gets difficult. You see the outside line actually working there a little bit for Echo Evans-Ross. So maybe the outside line isn't quite as bad as we think, but I still believe the inside line is the preferred lane. And you can see here comes the number 62 car of Thomas Troxel.
And he's going to make that work to the inside of Blaine Keys right there. Meanwhile, Nicholas Samadio on his teammate of Logan Williams. I think if there's anybody who can beat Drew Webb here today, it's this guy. Nicholas Samadio. I've been kind of eyeing this race for Samadio to maybe finally get his first win of the season. Definitely a track that suits his style, no doubt about it. Travis Crampton, though, has also been very good. And here's the thing, Crampton has a lot to race for right here because he's only 7 points behind our points leader of Drew Webb coming into this race here today. And if he can win this race, he could be tied or even the points leader going into Richmond next weekend, and that is going to be huge as we're closing in on the halfway point of this chase, and these guys at NS Racing have done a flawless job. Hey, they did a great job in the Sprint Series race on Wednesday. Both of their drivers, Trey Bartow and Benny Moore, in this race here today inside that top 4. These NS cars are really fast here at the Pocono Raceway, but so is Drew Webb, who had the best starting position. I think that is only his 2nd pole of the year, however, so good job there in Drew Webb getting him done. He picked a great time to get his 2nd pole because after what happened to him last week in New Hampshire, he needs to rebound the best he can. He wants to hold on to this points lead.
Yeah, and that definitely plays into effect of your mind as well, in terms of running out of fuel or getting involved in a crash. Like, it definitely messes with you, so for him to shrug it off, win the pole is really impressive. You can see he's actually pulling away a little bit here from the 59 car of Nicholas Samadio. So, as I say, that Samadio starts closing in, but yeah, Drew Webb right now, that is a really best race car, and clean air is really a big key here at Pocono.
No doubt about it, but Samadio trying to utilize any bit of draft down the straightaways here. Of course, long straightaways, the longest straightaway we have in the entire circuit. Over a mile there here on the front stretch. And definitely going to be interesting to see if San Mateo can, in fact, close in on Drew Webb at any point in this race. Logan Williams, the only non-chaser there in the top 7. Good run for Travis Crampton, Braden Perez. Thomas Troxel started 12th, and he's found his way on that inside and moved up fairly well. Trying to rebound after all the struggles he had in New Hampshire last week himself. Got penalized in that race after jumping the line, coming down the pit lane. It was just a mess for that team after starting on the pole there. Perez looking on Crampton here. Now, another thing to keep in mind here at the Pocono Raceway's tire wear, these guys are going to wear their tires out, and with the difference in banking and angles of all these corners, you're going to wear them out much quicker than you do in some other places, and there's going to be some significant tire wear once we get to the end of these runs, so definitely got to keep good care of your tires early on in a run, I feel like, if you're going to have some speed later on in the run, and that's definitely important. At Chase Buck a little bit further back here. Echo Evans-Ross falling back in the 39. It's been bit of a too common thing for that team there, for Echo Evans-Ross and Hamill Racing Enterprises. The Chase Buck currently running now in the 14th position. LJ Cimento is 15th. Not a good run for Matt Tuck. Kind of fell back there in the 54. Now down to the 21st position. And so a lot of chasers struggling. Ludovic Charette, though, moving up through the field, and he's done a good job moving through the field in these races. Hasn't qualified too well in certain places, but has been able to work his way through the field in a lot of these events, which has gotten him to the position he is in, only 8 points behind Drew Webb coming into this race.
One thing I've noticed, and I know this is a little off topic, but one thing I've noticed is the outside line in turn 1 is really good, but in turns 2 and 3, there's almost no speed there. And so I'm finding that interesting. I saw it with Matt Tuck and a lot of other guys that are getting in these battles. You get side by side with them, but going into turn 1, the outside line is almost the line you want to be in. So that could set the pass for later on the last lap. If you go to the outside lane, you could maybe get past them, and then you might be able to get the draft back on you in time.
No doubt about it. That's what makes this place so unique. Outside is definitely the preferred line in turn 1, and then turns 2 and 3, you want to be on the inside lane. You can get the outside lane to work in turn 2. But turn 3, especially with how flat that corner is, you definitely want the inside. How about these top 3, though? They're all on each other. And Nicholas San Mateo has the benefit of Logan Williams being right behind him here, I feel like, because those two guys are teammates, and even though the game doesn't recognize that they're teammates, other than me putting the team name in the opponent manager, I think that's going to help him out, because Drew Webb, he knows he's got 2 Appalachia cars behind him. He's going to have to defend against both of them, and Logan Williams is probably going to help out San Mateo any way he can to get that 59 around the 99, knowing that a title is at stake. Of course, San Mateo 20 points behind coming into this race. Had a solid run, actually finished runner-up once again at New Hampshire. It would have been 3rd if Drew Webb did not have his issue, but San Mateo in a great position here, especially if he can beat this 99 here today. And he could do it. If there's anyone who can do it, it's this guy. And a good run there through the tunnel turn, trying to close in on the 99. He might peek down right here, and he will. Here we go. Nicholas San Mateo going to try to take the race lead away from Drew Webb. Going to try to hold that inside lane in turn 3, and you know what? He's got it. Nicholas San Mateo to the point here in the Herr's Forever Good 400, and Logan Williams going to follow suit.
Yeah, you can tell Logan Williams is definitely doing anything he can right now to help out that 59 car of Nicholas San Mateo, and that was a rough lap there for Drew Webb. Went from 1st to 3rd, but I don't even know how he got that big run, but it looked like, Logan's cutting San Mateo some slack right there. But yeah, Drew Webb, I don't know if he got tight or what, but San Mateo closed in about 3/10 on him going into the tunnel turn there. That was pretty impressive.
And now San Mateo does have that bonus point for leading a lap here, so that's going to go a long way. That kind of negates the bonus point Drew Webb has, at least in San Mateo's respect. But Drew Webb back to the inside of Logan Williams right here. Yeah, Drew Webb kind of got stuck on that outside through turn number 3. He lost some momentum, and that's what gave way to Logan Williams. And he's got a good line here through turn 3 once again. Nicholas San Mateo going to try to hold him off right here. And they're going to be side by side down the down the front straightaway, I should say. A little bit tongue-tied here today. A little tricky. It's a tricky triangle. You know what I mean? That's how it rolls sometimes. Look at who's 4th. Tanner Parton. What a good run for him right here. Up to the 4th position. Last week we had Brady Mardi Gras. We got 3 wide right here. LJ Cimento, Blaine Keys, and Travis Crampton. They got to be careful right here. Good run for LJ. Of course, the Titan Fury cars are fast. You know that with Drew Webb, as he's going to go back to the inside of Nicholas San Mateo. They're side by side. They got to be careful not to let these guys close back in, because, any of these three guys are going to really dominate this race and have a good opportunity of winning. They got to keep themselves away from everybody else. Drew Webb's going to easily get back around Nicholas Amadeo right there. But going to be interesting to see how it all ends up playing out right here. We got Logan Williams trying to close in here on Nicholas Amadeo as he got passed, but Drew Webb back up front here at the Pocono Raceway.
Yeah,
I found this on the web.
The top three you said they have broken away, but Tanner Parton's closing, like by himself basically. So that's really, really impressive there for Parton to do, because that car was literally upside down last week. So to rebound from that is definitely a difficult task, but he's doing pretty well right now, because again, running by himself and closing in.
That Foley 2 is very quick. Surprisingly quick here today. And I'm intrigued to see, you know, once we get to the cycle of pit stops, that's where things are really going to get interesting. And I think that's on the mind of this Titan Fury Racing team right now, because of what happened last week. Did not have enough fuel in the tank to make it halfway in that race, and I think they just overdid it. So Drew Webb's got to be thinking about that right now, which may be part of why Sam Amadeo and Williams are still here. But keep in mind, we haven't gotten to that pit stop yet. Once they get past halfway, you know they're going to be good. So we're going to see if that is in fact the case. But Tanner Parton, 2 seconds now. I think now that these guys have gotten back in a single file line in the respective positions they were in at the beginning of the race, that might be bringing, or should I say, pulling these guys away from Tanner Parton. Troxel now up to 5th, and Thomas Troxel definitely a driver to watch out for. Last time we were here in the Cup Series, he went to victory lane, and he really closed in on Tanner Parton right there through the tunnel turn. Good run there for him. Braden Perez, 8 points behind coming into this race, currently running in the 6th position. Seth Cole, Blaine Keys, Trinity Ida. Interesting to see this NS Racing car run inside the top 10, and then you had Chase Buck there in the 32 machine. Travis Crampton falling back. You know, Nathan's always told me these guys set up for long runs, and this is definitely a long run type racetrack, but Travis Crampton's struggling right now as he is all the way back in 14th after running well earlier on. Got a battle right here for 4th. Troxel was able to clear Tanner Parton, and Parton trying to move back to the inside, couldn't do it. Now watch out for Troxel to possibly close in on the top 3 right here. And Nicholas Amadeo still all over the 99 of Drew Webb, and you know, he may actually get another opportunity to pass him right here on lap 13.
Yeah, Sam Amadeo is definitely maintaining pace right now with Drew Webb. I think Logan Williams' car is starting to fall off a little bit. But, yeah, Sam Amadeo, and I want to go back to the Troxel Parton battle, because you saw Tanner Parton. He tried the little crossover going off in the turn 1. He was definitely being aggressive there, and that's really interesting to see on Thomas Troxel, especially considering Thomas Troxel is in the chase. So, you know, you got to wonder if Parton is thinking, hey, you know, you're racing for the title, but the reality of it is I don't really care about, you know, what your point situation is. I'm still going to try and race you as aggressively as I would anybody else.
And I think Tanner Parton's still upset about not making the chase after what happened to him at Nashville. Got taken out by Daniel Paulus Jr., and while he was in the chase position, and this didn't end up working out for him, but great run for Tanner Parton regardless. Look at these NS cars, though. You know, Crampton is falling back, ironically, but Trinity Ida and Trey Bartow inside the top 10 now. The Sprint Series driver. You know, hey, we had Sam and Oskin win as a Sprint Series driver at our home track at Dover. This is kind of my second home track at Pocono. You know, who knows? Maybe the other Sprint Series driver can get it done, and Trey Bartow. Oskin not in this race today. He did not advance on in the Sprint Series race on Wednesday, fascinatingly enough, as he is still the points leader over there. But Trey Bartow with a great run here. LJ Cemento with a great run, moving his way through the field. Ladovic Charette, you know, Matt Tuck also rebounding as well. He was a little bit further back, you know, up to 16th. You know, still a long race here at Pocono. We still could end up with a caution. You just never know what's going to happen. You know, we still got that cycle of pit stops. So many determining factors on who's going to give this race victory. And I know Drew Webb is dominating, but look at Sam Amadeo. What a move there into the tunnel turn. Really closed in on Drew Webb and may have a shot here off the exit.
Man, Sam Amadeo drove it off in that corner. That was an aggressive move. Obviously didn't make the move to the inside there. Wasn't confident enough. But by doing that, Logan Williams is starting to close back in now, because he's just running his own race. And I think he's running smooth laps right now. And you see a battle right here. These two have been going at it for a few laps now, Parton and Troxel. So,
and, oh, this could get dicey. It's going to be on the inside in turn 1, and as we have seen, that's not necessarily been the best place, but we'll see if Sam Amadeo can, in fact, get some in the work. He's going to try it. If he can hold the inside, going down the Long Pond straightaway, he might have a shot. Oh, if he can hold that inside, if he can get Logan Williams to kind of push him there going into the tunnel turn, he might have an opportunity. Sam Medio's going to really drive it in deep, though. I know that. And they're still side by side for the race lead here on lap 16. This could be for the title right here. This could be between these two guys. Sam Medio has just been up front in so many of these races. Of course, had the issue he had at Atlanta, but Drew Webb had his issue at New Hampshire. And I feel like these are the two strongest cars in the field right now. And Nicholas Sam Medio going to get around Drew Webb there for a second time. Of course, Drew Webb has still led the most laps here today, so that's another bonus point if Drew Webb can hold it. But if Sam Medio leads from here on out, he'll get that extra bonus point.
Yeah, and you could see Logan Williams was kind of being cautious, but as soon as Sam Medio got past Webb, he kind of really started racing that 9-9 really aggressively. That's definitely some teammate action going on there. And now he's in a sandwich right now of the Appalachia cars. So Drew Webb has to really be careful with obviously looking out in front of him, seeing how he can get past Sam Medio, but also making sure he doesn't pull a bad block on the 95 car.
Because these guys have raced very cleanly here today, thankfully. No caution yet in this race. We could go caution-free here today. And Drew Webb looking there on Sam Medio. Sam Medio, now that the tires are getting worn out, that outside may have a little bit more grip through turn number 3, and I think Sam Medio absolutely noticing that and utilizing it to his advantage. These guys are still side by side. Tanner Parton and Thomas Troxel, they pulled away from the rest of the pack right there. But look at this. They continue the battle here for the 4th position. And I know Tanner Parton would absolutely love to be in contention for a race victory here. That would be a huge upset if he can get it done for Dog Pound Incorporated. This team hasn't had the best of seasons. Of course, Tanner Parton was consistent throughout the season, but missed out on the chase right there in the last race. But Tanner Parton holding strong with these guys. Reminds me a lot of his run that he had at Kansas. Had a great run at the Kansas Speedway, and that was the night everything changed, I feel like, in the Wawa Cup Series, because that was Drew Webb's first win. And I don't think the series has been the same ever since that night. And look at Drew Webb back to the inside of Nicholas Sam Medio, and that's going to put Sam Medio on the outside lane right there. I think these two cars are essentially equal, though, and it's just going to be a battle of wits on the pit lane. You know, Appalachian Motorsports, they have unfortunately struggled on the pit lane this season, so we're going to have to see if they can get through it. We're closing in on halfway. That cycle's going to be coming very soon. We'll move back through the field. I think most of the chasers are in this main pack here, but Aliera, Dylan Matthews, both of them still deep in the field. Not good runs for them at all, and there's an obvious gap between these guys here and then this pack right here led by Benny Moore right now. It's a massive gap there, about 4 seconds of a gap between those two main packs. And you got the top 3, you got this pack, and then you got the pack all the way back there. And it's very interesting to see it almost kind of be like a pack race at a super speedway, a true super speedway like Daytona or Talladega, even though, you know, here at Pocono, you really have to slow down through the corners. But I think the aerodynamics really coming into play as Crampton got in the middle right there. That could have been a moment of all time right there, but thankfully they keep it together. And Crampton, is he coming down? Now he's just really low there through turn 3. Almost looked like he was about to come down the pit lane right there. That would have been very interesting if we saw someone coming down before halfway. But we're just going to have to see. These tires are really worn out, and these guys want to get it to halfway so they know they can make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out back to the whole pack racing thing, it does remind me a lot of a pack race, but the difference is this reminds me of more like an early 2000s type pack race where you'd have multiple packs and you'd have cars, you know, working with each other. Obviously, I know that these top 2 and 3 aren't working with each other, but they're almost pushing each other down the straightaways, and you see the 99 really low. Is this potential pit stop?
I think it is. He's gonna come down right here at halfway. This is going to get interesting. He will cross the line right at halfway. So he made it 20 laps. He's going to make it another 20, hopefully. Braden Perez also coming down right here, and this could get interesting. You know, I feel like with how long, if this race stays green, I feel like the drivers who come in later are going to be at the advantage if the race stays green. It's going to be a big if, but you know, these guys are going to have those fresher tires a little bit later on. Drew Webb and these guys, Drew Webb and Braden Perez, only those two drivers going to gain an advantage here early on. But we'll just have to see if that's the case. Of course, tire wear very significant here. But we saw this at Darlington. That race went caution-free. And Seth Cole came down later than the drivers he ended up beating. And near the end of that run, because it went caution-free, he had the speed at the end of the race and grabbed the race victory. If that happens here at Pocono, and we have a very similar tire wear going on here, we could see that occur with the Appalachia guys or Thomas Troxel. But Drew Webb and Braden Perez are out. And now you got Sam Medeo, Thomas Troxel, Logan Williams coming down. Somebody stayed out right there. Matt Tuck in the 54 going to get a bonus point towards the championship for leading a lap. I don't know if that strategy is going to work out for him or not. But here we go. Nicholas Samedeo. We're going to follow with him on the pit lane. Of course, so many issues on the pit lane for this team this season. The good thing is he's not going to have anybody in front of him because Drew Webb is already done with his pit stop. So that might benefit Samedeo here. I don't think he's going to have to worry about getting into anybody. Obviously going to be a 4-tire stop for all these drivers. As you see Drew Webb there in the corner of your screen coming through turn number 3. He's going to be coming down the front stretch right here. Nicholas Samedeo is done with his pit stop. Same with Logan Williams. Where will they all blend in? This could get a little interesting right here. Where's the 99? Oh, there he is. And he is going to get out ahead easily, but...
He's gone.
But Samedeo, Logan Williams, they're going to have the slightly fresher tires near the end of this race, and that could give them the advantage and possibly give them the race victory. But Drew Webb firing off on all cylinders here today. Absolutely perfect so far at this 99. Other than missing a couple of laps there as he got passed by Sam Medeo, it's been a nearly flawless race once again for Titan Fury Racing and Drew Webb.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm sold on the shortcut yet. You know, I know it's only a lap earlier, but a lap around Pocono is a long time. Mm-hmm. So Drew Webb, I know he's got to maintain his fuel, maybe not a lot, but by at least a slight bit, because you've seen that last week, even just the tiniest bit of fuel can cost you the win.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a pit strategy race, but not quite what we've seen in the past.
There's definitely a split for Drew Webb, an exact split. He ran 20 laps, he's got 20 more laps on this tank, so assuming they put enough fuel in, and that was an issue last week in New Hampshire, I'm sure they definitely made sure they got enough fuel in that tank for Drew Webb here. Matt Tuck still led that lap. They're cycling back through again here. But the difference, only 2.5 seconds. It's not like, you know, he's got a gargantuan lead right here, and Sam Medeo clearly a fast car. Now they got the cycle of pit stops done, you know, watch out for this 59, then maybe close in as the cycle goes along, especially as the tires wear out. I think if Sam Medeo, Logan Williams can save their stuff, it could definitely turn in their favor here, but these guys really spread out now. A traditional Pocono race that we got going on right here. Thomas Troxel is 5th. Good run for Troxel here, or should I say he's 4th right now. LJ Semedo is 5th. Great run for LJ. He started 18th in this race and has worked his way up to the top 5. Finally, catching on to the speed that his teammate there at Drew Webb has. Braden Perez there in 6th. Tanner Parton the 7th. Ludovic Charette once again with another solid run. And I don't know if Ludovic's going to have enough to win the title, especially with Drew Webb and Nicholas Samedeo racing the way they are. But if Ludovic continues to do this each and every week, he could easily get a podium in the point standings at the end of the season. Trey Bartow is 9th. Sprint Series driver there. And then Trinity Ida rounds out the top 10. Matt Tuck is 11th there. Travis Crampton still in 14th, or should I say 13th right now. Actually, he may lose 14th to Andrew Miller. And Chase Buck, Seth Cole, not a good run for either of these guys. 18th and 19th off the pit lane. And, Dylan Matthews, she's 29th right now. And of course, that's better than where she started. I think she was at last at one point in this race. And Alliera, the last of the chase drivers, not been a good chase for Allie. And I feel like maybe this team, you know, Allie got 2 wins right at the beginning of the season, won the first 2 races of the season, but then kind of struggled as the season went along and just barely got into the chase on that wild card. So, going to be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out as the last 6 races commence here beginning next week at Richmond. We still got this one to finish, though, and it's not over yet. It's 2.4 seconds for Drew Webb here on Nicholas Samedeo. I think Samedeo may have a bit of a benefit with Logan Williams pushing him right here. That may give some speed there as LJ Semedo moves for 4th on Troxel. And Ludovic Charette moves for 7th on Tanner Parton, so watch out for the 61. He's moving up through the field very well here today as well.
Yeah, Parton is starting to drop, so I'm wondering if that's a longer run car. We saw him in the beginning. Tanner wasn't really up there and then started to close in, so I'm thinking that 42 is definitely a long run car. As far as LG Semedo, man, what I mean, it's just been going forward. He really hasn't gone backwards at all this race. He's just continued to improve. Just went past one of the fastest cars on the track, Troxel, and Troxel is going to close back up to the bumper now. But Sameto might not be a threat for the win, but I mean, he could maybe go catch Logan Williams and potentially Nicholas Samadillo if this order stays the way it is.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, though. Watch that difference there. It continues to close in. Nicholas Samadillo now within 2 seconds of Drew Webb here. And there are still 14 laps to go at Pocono. And 14 laps here is a long time. So there's plenty of time for Nicholas Samadillo to close in. I think this 59 is the fastest car on the track right now. That fastest lap doesn't really matter. I think Gramden got that fastest lap early on in the race. And I don't think we're seeing those fastest laps right now. But Nicholas Samadillo, that was such a good strategy out of the Appalachia guys, and once again, that'd be 2 weeks in a row. Now, it won't be as drastic, assuming Drew Webb can hold on to a top 5. You know, he's still going to hold on to the points lead, if that, in fact, happens. But, I'll tell you what, you know, if they stayed in and they did the same strategy as Nicholas Samadillo and was holding on to this race lead the same way, I would say Drew Webb's going to win this race. But right now, I think all indicators are pointing to Nicholas Samadillo here. And woof, half a second that lap there for the 59. And Nicholas Samadillo looking really strong here. Will he finally get that win that has just slipped from his hands so many times? And you know, he wants to beat Drew Webb. Remember Gateway, it was a last lap pass that Drew Webb ended up completing on Nicholas Samadillo in that race. Samadillo was going to win that thing, and then Drew Webb came through and was like, nah, I'm going to take that away from you. I'm sure Samadillo would love to do that to him here today at Pocono, because Samadillo would close in there. Probably, I would say, being about 5 points. It'd be 15 points going into Richmond, and that's still plenty of time, especially for a driver like Samadillo, to close in on Drew Webb in this title race. But I'm telling you, I mean, this 99 has just been lights out every single race of the chase, and if it weren't for that issue of New Hampshire, I mean, we'd be talking a possible 4 straight wins for this team in the chase, and that's just unprecedented. But I don't know if he's going to get it done. Samadillo now within 1 1/10 of a second right there. He is closing in fast, and he's going to have those fresher tires near the end of this one.
Yeah, Samadillo he's just absolutely hustling right now. I think he's gonna catch Webb within the next 3 laps, maybe 4. That's just how fast a 59 is. But as we know, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. And you got to find a perfect place to time that move. Drew Webb's not going to make it an easy pass. I can guarantee you that. And so Samadillo is going to have his work cut out for him, but he still has to get to the 99 first.
We'll have to see. You know, I definitely think this 59 is going to close in here, and knowing that he's going to have 1 lap fresher tires. And around a place like this, 1 lap's quite a bit of time, and now within 7/10 of a second there. It's not looking too good for Drew Webb right now. I think Drew Webb's hoping for a caution, because that may give him an opportunity at holding this 59 off, but Samadillo clearly the fastest car on the track. LJ Cimento, Thomas Strasser, they're still 4th and 5th. Braden Perez is 6th, but Wadovic Charette closing in on this 23 machine. Once again, another good run for Brady Mardi Gras, up to the 10th position now, looking for 9th on Trey Bartow. Matt Tuck trying to move his way through the field here, trying to hang on and be within range of Drew Webb, but with Drew Webb dominating this race, I don't know if that's really going to be the case. And here we go. Nicholas Samadillo right there on the back bumper. 10 laps to go across the line here in the Herr's Forever Good 400. Nicholas Samadillo looking to take it away from Drew Webb here. And I think next time around, we're going to have ourselves a new leader in this race.
Webb was playing a bit of a defensive line there in turn 3, but I don't think it's going to matter. Samadillo was right there. Gotta wonder, when does the 59 make the move? Is it going to be here? No, he sits behind. I think just trying to intimidate Drew right now. And while that's going to be tough to do, I think the 59 would just be better to pass Drew, because he'll pull away much quicker.
Look at that. Oh, he got into him! Oh, that was close. That was really close right there. He almost sent him into the wall. Thankfully, that did not happen. That would have really been dicey, but he had so much momentum going into that corner, and Drew Webb did not. And there we go. Nicholas Samadillo cleanly takes the lead away from Drew Webb. I'm sure Drew Webb's heart stopped right there. That was scary. New leader, 9 to go. It's Nicholas Samadillo here at Pocono. Will he be able to hold Drew Webb off? He's got to pull away from him now, and Drew Webb's going to try to cross back over. But Sam Medio's going to have a much better entry, and I think this 59 is going to start the pull away. Logan Williams, you know, he's on that same strategy as his teammate, so he may also get around Drew Webb here, and I'm sure Sam Medio would love to have that 95 go up to second. Try to get as many points away from Drew Webb as possible while he gets the race victory. That is the best case scenario for Nicholas Sam Medio. But how about this? Mr. Edge looking to finally not finish in second. He's finished second 4 times this year, including last week in New Hampshire, albeit that was probably the best second place finish he had because he really was going to finish third, and Drew Webb had his issue and he just moved up a spot. But he moved up the spot right there on Drew Webb, trying to take this one away. We'll have to see if he can hold him off for 8 laps.
Yeah, I think he's definitely faster, but for some reason the 99 on the front stretch is really fast. You can definitely tell. I think Drew Webb has a really good straight line car, but Sam Medio can just carry it through the corners so well. You see Webb get tight right there. I mean, yeah, I don't think Logan Williams has the speed that the top two have, but Sam Medio definitely is under a lot of fire from Webb. Webb, I think, might use the bumper back. I don't think he appreciated that move too much there from Nicholas Sam Medio, and he's right there. Maybe expecting
to try a crossover. Here we go. And you know, I think the draft has a lot of effect here because it's just such a long straightaway that you get a pull off the driver ahead of you, and Drew Webb going to take it back away from Nicholas Sam Medio. It's been these two drivers pretty much this entire race. Now, Sam Medio's got to be careful not to use up his tires here. You know, that may have been something he may have done right there because he's got 1 lap fresher tires, but if Drew Webb's kind of holding back there to save his stuff, you know, Sam Medio might have a bit of a hard time getting this race victory, but he's going to close right back in. I think that's just what's going on. These guys just get such a pull down the straightaways that they close right back into each other and just keep on swapping positions. And these two cars, they're essentially equal right now here today in this race. They're just so close to each other, and they just have not been able to get away from each other all day long. And Sam Medio going to have another opportunity here. Will he peek back down? Not going to do it right there. Didn't have the momentum to move to the inside, and he's going to allow Drew Webb to pull away just a little bit more here. It's going to get interesting. It's now 6 laps to go here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 for Drew Webb in the number 99. Nicholas Sam Medio trying to find a way back around, but did he use up his stuff here? That's the big question.
Tell you what, this is reminding me a lot of the new Atlanta, the hybrid super speedway version. You get such big runs, but making the pass is such a different story. And Sam Medio, I think you're right. I think Sam Medio did burn up his tires because you saw he was gaining about half a second a lap. That couldn't just because of Drew Webb being slow, because Webb is still fast. I gotta believe Sam Medio just drove the tires off that race car. It's gonna make this pass a lot more difficult now.
I'm sure everyone except Drew Webb and Igor Red are rooting for this 59 to get the race victory. You know, everyone's just been saying that the whole championship season is over. I mean, in New Hampshire, when everyone thought Drew Webb was going to win, everyone was like, yep, just give him the title. Well, then what happened in New Hampshire happened, and now you have an opportunity for someone else to maybe sneak into this championship, and Sam Medio may be that driver if he can win this race. You know, even if he doesn't win, he's not going to lose too much over Drew Webb, but for everybody else in the field, it's really going to be difficult. Oh, here we go. Drew Webb really slid it up the track right there, and Sam Medio's going to have a run to the inside in the long patent straightaway. It's 5 to go, and Nicholas Sam Medio trying to get this win on Drew Webb. He's going to really power it down into the tunnel turn, and they're going to be side by side off of turn 2.
Gotta try and force him up. And is he going to clear him? Yeah. I think Drew Webb just backed out, let him by there, just trying to set him up for another corner. So, Sam Medio back to the front.
Kind of the game of chicken right now. I mean, when do you want to be the race leader? Because, like you're saying, you know, we're kind of having a bit of a super speedway situation where you get the pull and then you get the advantage because you are the driver behind. I don't think dirty air really matters right now because I think it's such a pull down these straightaways. You just gain so much speed that you may actually want to be second with like 2 or 3 laps to go, and that might be what Drew Webb's trying to set up. And Sam Medio trying to pull away here. That's the best thing he can do, is just pull away enough where Drew Webb does not get an advantage, and a pretty decent gap right now for the 59. I know Nicholas wants this win, and especially over this guy, because he lost that gateway race to him, and I'm sure he's been thinking about that ever since that June evening. Here we go. 3 to go. Next time by for Nicholas Samedeo and Appalachian Motorsports. This team looking to get their 3rd win of the season in the Cup Series. Got one with their Sprint Series driver Sam and Oskin at Dover, one with Logan Williams at Nashville. They're looking to do the same here at Pocono with their star driver, Nicholas Samedeo. But will he be able to hold off the most dominant driver of the season in Drew Webb? 99 looking to the inside in turn 1, but Samedeo going to have that outside to his advantage.
Telling you what, Samedeo is mirror driving right now. He is not looking at the windshield at all. He's seeing exactly what the 99 does. We're going to chop off his nose every chance he gets. Man, this is definitely a high-pressure situation for both drivers. Not so much for Drew Webb, but definitely for Nicholas Samedeo. This keeps the title hopes alive, and again, Webb is so fast through the tunnel turn.
Look at that. And the driver who was in second has just been so fast through the tunnel turn. And once again, Drew Webb to the inside, and Nicholas Samedeo for the race lead. Oh boy, but Nicholas Samedeo going to try to hold the outside lane off the exit. He might be able to do so here. This could get close. If he can hold the outside in turn 1, he may be able to clear. How much does he want to stay in this battle or slot back in the second and try to get back around the 99? It's 2 laps to go at Pocono. Nicholas Samedeo almost in the outside wall there. He's going to try to utilize this outside lane. He's going to get a run off the exit of the corner and maybe shoot back down, but Drew Webb back to the lead with 1.5 laps to go here at Pocono. What a battle it has been between these two drivers, and I know how dominant Drew Webb has been this season, but we're witnessing a heck of a race here at the Pocono Raceway between 2 of the series' top drivers. The caution's out, so this is going to be it. Samedeo's got to make the move now. He's got to make the move now. Will he be able to make the move?
There's not a chance.
Oh, it's going to be close, but it's not going to happen. Oh my goodness. Drew Webb going to get his 3rd win of the season in the chase and his 5th overall. White flag and the caution flag out, and we had a big wreck. I think it was that second pack. Absolutely unbelievable right there. Wow, if you're Nicholas Samedeo, you got to be slamming your head against the wall right now.
Not the way I wanted this race to end.
I don't think anyone wanted the race to end that way. Wow. Maybe except for Drew Webb.
Dang it, that was going to be an amazing finish. That battle was incredible.
Wow. Well, they still have to get back around. That is the big thing right there. So it's not official until they cross the line. But I don't think we're going to see what we saw last week.
Gut-wrenching if you make with Samedeo.
Going to be Samedeo's 5th runner-up finish this season. And it's going to be Drew Webb's 5th race victory.
Unbelievable. What a season by Webb, but man, I don't even... God, I wanted to see that go green, man. That was going to be so incredible.
That was going to be such a great finish there, and unfortunately we were robbed of it by some back markers. That's unfortunate right there. Almost went caution-free in this race. And, wow. I think Samedeo was probably anticipating... I mean, who would have thought we would have ended up with a caution right there? I think Samedeo was anticipating there being, one more lap in that race, and that was not the case. And Drew Webb, oh boy, he's going to get another one. 5th win of the season. He's finally going to get that 5th win. Should have been last week, but it's this week at Pocono. Drew Webb wins the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono. And will anybody stop him in this title race? That is the big question. Nicholas Samedeo there going to finish 2nd once again. Logan Williams, LJ Cimento. How about Titan Fury and Appalachian Motorsports there? Such a good run for both of those drivers. Thomas Troxel will finish 5th. Brady Mardigras, another top 10 for him there in the 6th position. Matt Tuck, Eric Monaco, Braden Perez, and Ludovic Charette rounds out the top 10 here at Pocono. Well, before we get to the official standings, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the caution. End this race 1 lap early in the Herr's Forever Good 400. This is the culprit right here. Allier and Christian Master in the 43. Cuts down. Yeah, and I think, we saw this almost happen between Nicholas Samedeo and Drew Webb into the tunnel turn. Just the speed differentials is too much, and then Master gets in the alley, and she just goes spinning in the 5. And that is our caution right there, and more comes out of this one than just this. Caution comes out the moment she hits the wall, essentially, there. And if this were a real-life wreck, that would have been a concussion, but thankfully, it's just a video game. Tough break for Allie right there, and I think these guys get caught up. Joey Hightower, Zachary Fitzwater come in. Oh, yeah, she's kind of in the middle, and she slid back down, and Hightower and Fitzwater had nowhere to go. Wow, that was a shot. It actually sent Allie upside down, which is such a hard hit right there. Nowhere for Hightower to go, and then Jim Vincent comes in. I think Brian Webb may have had a separate mechanical issue. I don't think he was anywhere near this. And Vincent just, wow, runs right in the Fitzwater right there just before he teleports away and knocks out the 07. But Igor probably doesn't care about that because his driver just won this race, Drew Webb. Yeah, and Brian Webb had an issue. So he was separate from that. So 4-car accident, 5 if you count Christian Master and Aliera. Hard hit there in the number 5.
And here you see, going off into turn 1, Master just, yeah, I'm not the one to judge if something's intentional or not. You know, we've seen other contact like that, and oh gosh, that's such a nasty wreck right there. But I don't think it was intentional, but it obviously isn't a good look for Christian Master. And then right here late, here comes the 07, and boom, just clobbers the 9. I mean, just a really long wreck, and unfortunately it ended what was going to be an incredible battle. So
no doubt about it. We would have had ourselves. And you know what? Considering how close they were and knowing Nicholas Amedeo, he probably would have won that race just by a fraction of a second. But alas, we didn't get it, and Drew Webb is going to get the race victory here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono. And what a way to end this race. Disappointing for a majority of the field, but not for Titan Fury and Drew Webb. And after what happened to him last week, I'm sure he's glad that one ended up happening. I think if there was one more lap, I think Nicholas Amedeo would have won. But my goodness, you know, it's just a glass ceiling for that team. They can't get there. And Nicholas Amedeo, once again, runner-up. The good thing for him, he's not going to lose too many points off of Drew Webb. And Drew Webb's still going to be within a race. So, you know, one more issue, and you never know what could happen. But, man, the way these guys are running, it's just all of a sudden. And it was right when the chase began. Boom, they just flipped on a switch. And one of the best teams this season, absolutely bar none. They're ready for it, and I have a good feeling these guys might pull it off. Went through the top 10 right there, and right there at the end, Aliera, chase driver, caught up in that one. Joey Hightower, Zachary Fitzwater, Jim Vincent left, and then Brian Webb all caught up there. I'm wondering if someone had a mechanical issue that caused a wreck right there. It's very possible that is what ended up happening. Such a shame we got robbed of a good finish in this race. I tell you what, that just hurts. You know, and like I said, nothing against Drew Webb. It would have been nice to see those guys actually go out to the end of the race. And, you know, Sam Medea was definitely setting up a pass on that last lap, and we never got to see it. Well, Chase, that was interesting, no doubt about it. Nearly a caution-free race at Pocono, but as this championship rolls on, you know, we're heading to some tracks that may not suit Drew Webb as well. We got a short track in Richmond. I know he almost won New Hampshire, but Richmond's coming up. And, of course, near the end of the season, that's where things are going to get really dicey because you have Watkins Glen. In the last road course, Drew Webb was not good there at Road America. And then Daytona, the penultimate race. So, you know, with that in mind, do you think Drew Webb really does have this championship on lock? Or with how much of a variety we got coming to the end of this season, do you think it's going to be a little bit closer than most people expect?
Well, I'll tell you what, Watkins Glen and Daytona are 2 wild cards. Those are 2 crazy racetracks. We know anything can happen there, so I definitely don't think it's I've always said it's not over until it's over. So I don't think Drew Webb has the championship locked up, but definitely the favorite right now. That 99 car is just on rails every week, it seems like. It, you know, gets to the point where you got to question who's able to stop him, and I think we have yet to figure out that answer, but Nicholas Samedeo was pretty close to it today.
No doubt about it, and, you know, like I said, I think Samedeo would have won this race if it actually went the scheduled distance, but wow, that one fell in Drew Webb's lap. But regardless of the fact, both drivers put on such a good show, and they were right on each other, and I think if Samedeo did not have the issues that he had at Atlanta, you know, we'd be talking, I mean, and it still very well could be between these 2 drivers this season. I think the Achilles heel for that team there in Appalachian Motorsports is they just yet to go to victory lane. And that's really the big kicker for those guys and Nicholas Amedeo. But Hey, we'll have to see how it all goes down next week. We're back to noon Eastern time next week. Of course, this race at 11 a.m. because we got the truck race coming up here in, 15 minutes or so? And, hey, I'm there right now, so if you're there, say hi, But, hey, either way, Drew Webb, once again in victory lane, his 5th win of the season and his 3rd win in the last 4. And honestly, he should have won last week. We could be talking 4 in a row here for Drew Webb, which is absolutely unbelievable. We'll have to see if that streak continues next week in the Norfolk Southern 400 over at the Richmond Raceway. The last short track of the season, it could get quite interesting there around that 3/4 of a mile speedway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here are the point standings after 4 races in the chase, and it's still far from over. It ain't over till it's over, and we obviously saw that last week in New Hampshire, and we still know what crazy things could happen in these last 6 races. Excited to see how it all goes down. I have to see if Drew Webb can hold on to this championship lead. He gets it done here at Pocono, and we'll see what he can do next week at Richmond. On behalf of Chase Harris, thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Drew Webb, and I will see you guys later.